where would we be without potatoes?
I don't know. I mean, they're not. Those aren't so bad for you. I imagine boiling them and a half a pound of salt's probably not. But it's gonna taste fucking great. See, like I'm a massive fan of instant noodles. I'm a big ramen eater, and dude, I can only eat like a pack a week because they're just you get like 3 weeks worth of sodium in one pack, and it's like, damn, it's so fucking good though.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yes.
I forgot to put on my. I didn't order my thing, but maybe I can try to find some
bastard.
kind
of a. Just use like a garbage bag.
I can do some kind of filter.
Filter.
Yeah.
That's looking pretty great. It's kind of looking like Cousin Eddie's hat with awesome hair coming out from underneath. That's what it reminds me of. The structure of it is very.
It's way curlier than it was in the picture. I must say. This was supposed to be.
You gotta curl it.
This is supposed to be.
You kind of got a Rick James. That's kind of a Rick James vibe you got going on there, man.
There we go. Yarr. It's Vindicator.
I gotta find my notes.
There's Chop.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Yeah.
What's good, Joe?
What?
There we go.
That's it, man.
You guys suck. You guys suck.
Guys, I apologize up front if my phone decides to go out and it's got a charge. So
you should apologize for that hair.
Can you charge it in now somewhere?
See, I'm Wildcard 30 years from now. So
Never.
I'm Wildcard.
I'll be rocking the Hulk Hogan before I have no hair.
Let me tell you, Mean Gene.
I had to bring it.
What?
Oh,
I can hear Dread going, that some bitch. Let's go.
Exactly.
So, that's all right though. It sounds like you're ready. You're loosey goosey and ready for the show.
Oh yeah. I'm right for it, man.
Yeah.
I already got my intro and everything ready for this one, buddy. Let me tell you.
That's good. We're gonna be getting ready. Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanna jump into it, Mark, because like I said, he said he would join us, but again,
where there's Billy right? Billy's right there.
He's here.
He's in.
Fuck, you're here?
Yeah, can't you see anything?
Can't you see it?
Come on, Wildcard, get on a fucking computer, man.
Where are you at, Billy? You gotta say something.
Get a laptop, dude.
Yeah, come on.
You guys are failures. No
way. I use my phone.
It's our producer's fault.
Hey, there he is.
There he is.
It's my fault.
Yeah, we can hear you, buddy.
It's always my fault.
Finally.
That's right.
This is Billy, guys. I have a real band. That's a band member.
Nice.
Vic's my dad.
So he showed up willingly, or are you paying him $1 or what?
Yeah, he came against his will. Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Cool, man. Glad to have you.
Hell yeah.
I like your Vic's tone. That's good, Dreadbull. That's really great.
Yeah, that's who I am. I was gonna,
I was gonna
draw some little skulls and stick them on my fingers. Some badass skulls.
Yeah, why didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know. I ran out of time.
Man.
Yeah, you got your double
Started
rings.
watching football.
Back
Took a
in
nap
the day.
instead.
There you go. That's rock and roll for you. I'm a rock and roll. I got a rock and roll
Oh,
nap.
this thing's already starting to itch. Oh God.
That's me.
Welcome to the pain.
He's got the Rick James. He ordered the Rick James wig.
Nice.
Dread is now super.
I'm Vic James, bitch.
Yes. Yes.
Print it on a shirt.
Yeah,
Love it.
that's
Love
it, man. Nice, excellent. Well, Billy, welcome to Heavy Metal Horror, man.
Welcome.
Hey,
sir.
thanks for having me, man. It's a good time.
Yeah,
Glad to be here. Yeah.
I hope you're here to help us eviscerate Vic. And,
Yeah.
That new quote unquote album he put out.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're on it too, so we'll take it easy on you for about 5
Okay.
minutes.
Right on. Just 5.
Yeah, don't expect any free lunches here, man.
No quarter here, brother. Yeah.
Oh man. Brutality.
Right.
Hey, this is Ralph Sheepers, and you're listening and watching to Heavy Metal Horror.
I am Montag, Mass Revolution. What goes up must come down, but not always.
Hey, I'm Chop Top, and you know me that from previous shows, but today, I'm Wildcard 20 years from now.
I'm Victicator.
Hey, wild card.
I forgot who I was. And you,
Billy
listening.
Zahn.
Billy Zahn.
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
And
so
you.
bad.
He didn't get the memo.
Today,
So
Billy.
big.
None of us do.
Come on. Vic never prepared him what to do.
No,
fuck
he
no.
didn't. He was like, "Hey, you want to do this?"
He played
Your
you
ass
for
ready.
a fool.
You mean you're not a listener already, Billy? Come on, man.
I don't even have internet.
Oh, there we go. It's like the Flintstones with this.
Yeah, man.
It's like the Flintstones with these guys. Hey, yabba dabba, give me my car. Oh, and you are
We're
listening.
the Vic Stones. Meet the Vic Stones.
This could be a rough one.
Let's get the intro finished. Come on.
And you are listening to Heavy Metal. Oh, kiddies, tonight we skewer one of our own gleefully. Tonight, old Vic Wildcard is being joined with fellow bandmate Billy Zahn for Vindicator, Communal Decay, the new album by Vindicator. And we're going to tell Vic how we really feel. And we're going to make up a bunch of lies.
Time to really
about the
open
record.
up.
It's time. It's time. We have done enough shows together.
Held back enough,
We-
man. It's time to get off the
we're done holding back. It's
Uh-huh.
Fuck this.
just like with Dreadbull and myself.
It's a
we've been-
coming of age episode.
Yep. We're going to be showing our open contempt for one another. Long-going brotherhood. To barely tolerate each other. It's the best thing about the pandemic. We don't have to actually see each other in real person face. Oh, but tonight, Vic, we're going to talk about your new album, Vindicator, Communal Decay. Which number album is this? Is it 5?
This is 4.
4.
This is our 4th
Okay.
full length. Yeah.
Yeah. And first, I want to say I thank you for letting us take this time to, talk about it, skewer you a little while, and give praises to Billy for the best parts of the record.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So like we've been doing with our Rush kind of albums, we're just going to start. We're going to work track by track. At least that's how I get notes for every track.
Same
I mean,
here.
there's short notes because there's not much good to say, but I'm looking forward to
Except the lead guitar. Yeah.
those solos. I know. I got solos written down multiple times. I thought
It's all across my notebook, solos.
exactly.
Great riff.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
solo.
Hey now, riffs. Now you're talking my department. Yeah.
Oh, did I misread that? Hold on.
Hold on.
We're giving some.
Oh, okay. Never mind. My bad.
Well, let's start with the opening track, Hymns of Oblivion.
Of Oblivion.
Chop Top, old Vic, what do you have to say about Hymns of Oblivion?
Well, I mean, what I like so much, I'm going to say just overall about this album, I like that you guys meld so many influences together. There's some old school Testament sound stuff in there. There's definitely some Megadeth stuff. When we talk about the instrumentals, talk more about that. And
Okay.
even some punk. I catch some things. So I mean, I really like the old school approach and melding all your influences all together. That's what I got out of the entire listening of this album.
Yeah, cool. That's good. I mean, that's kind of what we were going for. So that worked.
I was
It
on it,
did.
man. It's like I almost wrote the damn thing myself. So okay, but
Except it's good, right?
yeah, the solos. Let's talk about it. Hymns of Oblivion solos. I'm done. No, great opening track, and again, it's just that's the thing that stood out for me most from the entire album. I got other notes for other tracks, not so much on this one, but it was just a refreshing opener, really nice, and yeah, I just like the way you guys, how Vic, you guys put all your influences together, because I definitely hear old Megadeth. I hear some old Kill 'Em All Metallica. I hear some Old Testament, and it just blends really nicely. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Actually, the intro for Hymns was a direct kind of like influence from Disciples of the Watch, with all the overlaying harmonies that keep coming in after each measure. That was my sort of like, rip off of Alex Skolnick right there.
Dude, it was
directly.
I had the familiarity when I listened. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's like something in Old Testament. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was hearing those notes throughout the record too. I got several times like, this sounds like this, or
yeah.
yeah. How about you, Vic's tone? So what you say about this opening track?
Overall, the mix on this album is fantastic. Like it was, I don't know, I didn't really have any expectations. I guess my expectations would be like, yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't listened to you guys prior to this, so
Right.
Thinking local band, maybe a little rough mix, but this sounded great. Every instrument sounds really good, really clear. You hear every instrument really, really nice. It's pristine. So yeah, awesome mix. Great. Again, I'm hearing the influences too. I got some early Megadeth, like So Far So Good So What kind of Megadeth, or Anthrax maybe even. This track in particular, when the drums came in, it reminded me of And Justice for All, like the drum mix there.
Yes, I was waiting. This song, when I wrote this song, that was the vibe I was going for, pretty much for the whole thing. So I wrote the intro and the song itself separate from each other. I wrote the song, and I wanted an And Justice-esque kind of song, and so that's what happened. But then I wrote this intro like later on. I'd gotten a pedal from my dad, and I was fucking around with it, and I was like, fuck, this is cool. Wouldn't it be cool if I could make those two go together? And it was surprisingly easy, so I was able to write a cool intro for the album. To see, if you know how I do things, I love my instrumentals, hence there being two on the record. So most people will skip over instrumentals. That's a personal love of mine. I love instrumental tracks for atmosphere or for just cool riffs. But a way to make people listen to your instrumentals is to actually adhere them to a song. I didn't see anything wrong with that. It plays into the mood of the song. So yeah, that whole piece is very influenced from And Justice, and then Billy brought in the Testament influences. So we've got an interesting blend, to be honest, with that particular track.
Yeah, that breakdown at the end really gave me like a Dyer's Eve sort of vibes at the end of that song. So yeah, cool song. I really like that too.
And I really like on Vic Jr. there on comment on his notes about the sound of the album. I really like the crisp and crunchiness of the guitars. Are really up front in the mix, and that really
we were fortunate enough to have a pretty good team behind this. Well, I say team, but it was just Tim. The gear that we had access to through Tim and through the studio is, this production was the best equipment we've ever had access to. Tim used a lot of really high-end gear for this particular release, and just the fact that a lot of it was mixed on Eric Rutan, his old console. So like that console has seen Cannibal Corpse records, any death metal, like Florida area death metal. A lot of modern death metal was mixed on that particular board. And it's fan-fucking-tastic, and it shines in this thing. I mean, that's not the only thing there. Tim, when he did
unfuckwithable.
Tim, yes, exactly. When Tim was doing the guitars, what you actually hear are, I think, 3 or 4 different amps blended together. It might be 3. I think it's because I'll track with my head, and then I also do DI tracks so you can reamp them later or whatever. So it's a blend of my Laboga and I think an Engel and Egnator maybe, but what he achieved. One of my favorite comments on the whole thing was, this guitar tone could fry air. Somebody said that, and I was like, I love that. because it is, man. That's a hot fucking tone.
Where did you guys
Definitely-
record this?
So we all
Sorry.
pretty much tracked at home, given the bulk of
Oh,
the
okay.
tracking started during the pandemic. Vocals were tracked in my studio. My guitar parts were tracked in my studio. Billy tracked in his studio. Ed tracked in his studio, which in this day and age, pretty much everyone has a studio. It's not, it's easy to do now. But the drums were actually tracked out at Mercenary because I don't have the capability of recording real good drums. Like I can get a retro sound like on Black Fang. I track those drums and it's just 2 room mics in my, not acoustically treated basement with piles
That's
of
so
stuff
sick.
everywhere. And it sounds fucking great for that record. For Vindicator, no, I don't know that I want to go that far back. One of the things that people like to, it's like we get these people that review stuff. I think they just review it because they feel the need to review stuff. So a lot, like a common thing in Vindicator reviews are, they're always like, oh, well, this has, obvious retro thrash production. We've never once in our fucking career like tried to get a sound. We just got what we could afford. There Will Be Blood sounds like an 80s record. We didn't do that on purpose. That's just what we had access to at the time, and each record after that, we got the production that you got what you got. You get what you get, you don't have a fit. That's what we got. We weren't like, we want it to sound like this. It's just how it fucking sounds. So in this sense, like we actually got a proper, like this is a proper production. The only step further would have been to actually everyone track in the studio and kind of do it that way. But I'm
Next time.
partial. Yeah, I mean, and that is an option for next time. But I'm partial to home recording because, man, I am terrible in a studio. I'm much more comfortable here than I am on the clock. Time's ticking. It's just like, fuck this, Maybe I'd get a better performance out of it, maybe more aggression. But yeah, I'm glad that you guys, can hear that sonically. This is like our best record.
Did you use your new amp and your new head on this?
I
album?
didn't have the Granger in time. It definitely will be on future recordings because that's the sound I've always wanted. That
Yeah,
sound
sounds
is the
great,
sound
man.
I've always wanted. I mean, my Laboga's a fucking tank. I will never get rid of that amp. And it's been on every recording up to this point, except for United We Fall, I think. But yeah, I love JCM 800s though. That's the sound that I've always been after. And that's a long drawn out story about how I thought I was getting the sound I was after and ended up not doing that, and finally found out what I was after all those years. But it'll be on the new record. But yeah, the Laboga, it definitely served up some good tones, at least well enough for Tim to decide to keep them in the mix, because that was in his court. He didn't have to do that. It was his decision as producer to keep the original takes as well as reamped takes, to kind of layer it, build some texture.
Sounds great, man.
Do you mean there's going to be more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
We don't have to do another review like this, do we?
No. One and done.
ouch.
One and done. I thought this was an interesting choice for an opening track because it was being so mid-tempo. I was thinking, okay, we're going to get this thrash, punch you in the face.
Right.
But it like everyone else said, it reminded me of old school Megadeth. I love that tempo change about 4 minutes in, where you hit that headbanging thrash.
Yeah,
and
right.
The guitar tone I thought was amazing. I'm like, oh wow, what the hell are they doing? And the solos, again, the solos were great. Again, I wasn't sure who was playing what, but I thought, wow, these are really, really good. And it was a great mix. I'm always gonna say you can always punch up the drums a little bit more, but it's just
Whatever buries the
Here we
vocals.
go.
I mean,
Drums sounding
yeah,
again.
right, yeah. If long as we stop that singer from caterwauling,
Caterwauling.
Yeah, what the fuck was that on vocals? Jesus.
exactly. Just lower those, in the mix. But yeah, it's I don't want to say what everyone else has said, but I think it was again really a solid sounding record from beginning to end. And the length was even though it was like about 30 minutes too long, it was still no, it just reminded me of something like this is the length, it's about the length that Rain and Blood is. It's
Right.
like 32 minutes of like you're just gonna get it,
Yeah.
and I like that. It doesn't.
Mark
Yeah,
likes to get it for like 32 minutes.
Just
like
like
to
to
get
get
if I
it.
can get it for
Just wants to
32
get it.
seconds, I'll be happy. Yeah.
I didn't
Well, I
say
mean,
I didn't say give it. I said get it.
That's
Get
what I
it.
said.
Oh
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I said.
Okay.
Maybe back in my younger days.
I mean,
Can you help me
oh,
get it
yeah.
for 30 seconds? I can't. I've fallen and I can't get up.
I mean, yeah, talking about the length. Originally, this album went through a few different idea changes. Originally, we were going to do something like Testament's First Strike Still Deadly, Destruction's thrash anthems, where they retracked old tracks and kind of made like a best of, but or like Iced Earth's where they retract all that shit with
Days of
with Matt
Purgatory?
Barlow. Yeah,
Yeah.
Days of Purgatory.
Yep.
So we were going to do something like that because we've had so many lineup changes. People still don't know that I am on some albums and Marshall's on some albums. I think we're the same fucking person. I mean, like you
I
can
did.
hear the. Did
For a
you
while.
think we were the same person?
Dude, for like
Oh,
years.
you're out of the band. Jeez. So, I
Hey
mean,
man, I was
like-
14.
All right,
It's
you were
like
a kid.
finally, what I've been waiting for. That's all it took.
So I mean, like, I wanted to like let people know this is the current lineup, and just kind of get a fresh take on some of the stuff. And Sarah, my wife, has been managing this band since day one, and she does she's our booking agent, she's our photographer, she's our van driver, she's our merch person. And so she's got a high stake in this project just as much as I do. It's just as much her baby as it is mine. And she was just busting my chops about that shit. She's coming down and she's going, "This is stupid. This is a dumb idea." And I got like 6 songs done before I started going, "This is a dumb idea, man." And I just threw them all out. I still have them on my computer, but I mean, originally we were going to have a retracked best of, and we ended up. So then it went through. Maybe it was going to be an EP. And finally I was like, no, it's got to be a full length. In order for it to be a full length, we have to have 30 minutes of music. So when I started writing new material, I wanted to make sure I crossed that threshold. And 30 minutes, like, I don't know, people have fucking crazy short attention spans these days. So it almost is better for the listener to just get 30 minutes than it is, 45, 60-minute albums, because it just, after a certain point, they're just like, what am I listening to? Their ADHD kicks in and, they're crashing their car or some shit. I don't know, man. Like, so it's like, just the time length, I think it might have pissed off some people that it was short, that there are 2 instrumentals on a shorter album. But, this was a real, like, recutting our teeth, if you will, breaking the rust kind of record. So I think the length worked out. I think it serves its purpose, if you will, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I found myself as I, getting older, as we all do, that my attention span tends to go now to shorter albums and stuff, as opposed to 80-minute albums and stuff. Not that that's bad at sometimes, but
Right.
you listen to so much of it. But that was refreshing with this as well. The time span it took to listen, and
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. I enjoyed that. So
I was spent. I had a cigarette, and then I went to sleep.
Patchy the Pirate makes a comment.
Yeah, well, you don't have to break out the Escape Fetal Pigs second album, Devil's
Oh
Food,
God, can we get through one show without?
which clocks in about 89 minutes. So
Right,
God's
here we go
sake.
again.
There-
We all know,
Done,
Mark.
man. Mark's glory day.
speaking of long albums that are way too long. Okay, well, let's move on to Kill the Rich. I thought this had a great beginning melodic riff. And the verses kick in and they make me feel like I'm racing in a muscle car. There is just something, an energy, a power, a potency to this. It's kind of got like a high-speed dirt kind of feel.
Okay.
That kind of groovy,
Nice.
infectious kind of groove. I do have a question though. What did the Rich ever do to you? I mean, I have like
my question.
I have like $65 in my wallet. Are you gonna kill me?
Yeah.
How rich do you need to be to deserve
Exactly.
Coming for you now, man.
Yeah.
I got a
Imagine
bag.
that.
I got a bag of 2-year-old candy. Is that rich?
that? These
Oh
are the
my
same.
Eating 2-year-old
goodness.
candy.
These are questions in my notes as well.
But I really did like. I called how bendy the solo section is. It's all this little bendy. I liked that.
Hey, man, don't you made too many Carrot
Thank
King
you.
sounds there. Too many Kerry King sounds.
I don't have the attitude though. I gotta look down. So there. Okay, why don't you go ahead and Vic's tone, Dreadbull? Why don't you go ahead and ask him the same
Yeah.
question?
Right, the rich. I really I searched online for lyrics. I wanted to know why are you killing
Oh
the rich?
man, I thought.
I
just-
mean, many bands want to eat the rich, Motorhead
if you-
or
I just
Aerosmith,
see
but
that's I took it a step further.
Why are you killing
I'm
them?
not
That
gonna I'm not
seems-
gonna fucking eat them.
Do you not have a
seems
media
wasteful.
player?
you're gonna kill them and not eat them. That's
Dreadbull,
wasteful.
do you
Well,
not
maybe
have a
that's what it
media
is.
player?
Maybe I'm going to kill them, then eat them because I want them cooked.
Oh, is there
I
gonna
had-
be a follow-up
Yeah.
song?
Yeah, cooked
Your
the
own
rich.
cook the
Cook
rich,
the rich.
and then
Kill 'em,
eat
then
them. It'll
cook
be
'em.
a trilogy.
Yeah.
And then shit
Yeah.
the rich.
Shit the rich.
Shit the rich.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's like the
cooking shit.
Unforgiven
Oh
4.
my god! Yeah.
All right,
this
that's a
is like-
shirt.
Right on.
Does your media player not
gonna
have the lyrics?
spin.
Because I have Media Monkey and I had the lyrics to all the songs. on
Oh,
the
I
side.
wish-
Yeah,
No,
Mark
they
has
have not.
Media Monkey.
No, I was
and
watching.
he had
I
all
was
the
listening to it
songs.
streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, I
on
was
their-
reading the
on their-
lyrics like, who wrote
Vindicator
this
channel.
shit? Kill the rich, like fuck, man.
Well,
What's
did
going
they
on,
say
Vic?
why they're killing the rich? That's all I wanted to know.
I do,
Well,
yeah,
it's-
yeah. It's in the lyrics. It's
in
it's
the
all
lyrics.
it's all about if I'm being fair, I've been through some shit in my time, and sometimes when you got the feels, you just sit down and you write a song, and that's kind of where this was, man. It cost me quite a bit of money to just exist. I've got ulcerative colitis, and it's astonishing, like the rigmarole you've got to jump through and the hoops you've got to jump through and all the bullshit you've got to just to get like fucking pills so that you can keep your colon. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean,
Yeah.
like I was going through a rough patch. I was pretty depressed, and it came out. The animosity came out in those lyrics. So it's not like talking about like your rich uncle who owns his own like fucking tire place or some shit like that. Like I'm
You should've
talking
put that
about
in the lyrics.
yeah, I'm not talking about your rich
your rich
uncle.
uncle.
Who owns his own tire place? I'm talking about colitis and shit in the rich.
No, but I'm talking about the 1%, man. The people who are
Okay.
pulling the fucking
Alright.
strings, the assholes who are they don't need to fuck with anyone else, but they can and they will. Self-serving individuals. You'll notice there is kind of a theme to Vindicator since it started on the Antique Witcheries. Most of my lyrics are political. So you'll find politics.
I just thought it was some third grader was scribbling down shit. I didn't know it was you had
Yeah.
that much thought into it.
Like someone who has absolutely no idea about what
I
politics
use
is.
my brain when I'm writing stuff down, guys.
Why do I stand in a line? When I go vote, I don't like it. Like that.
I mean, if you guys want me to write some SOD lyrics, I can totally do that shit too.
Oh,
But
Well,
I def-
Chop, go
oh,
ahead. Talk about
Well, I was
yeah.
definitely Kill the Rich. I'm definitely gonna say there's this couple tracks that one stands out as well, and then we'll get to Spiders later. But there's definitely a sense of humor. You guys have a light, sense of humor with some things.
oh
too.
yeah,
And
I mean,
and
who
that's
the hell
pretty
is gonna?
cool. And that
Pretty
came across in the
tongue-in-cheek.
song when I first listened to it. I was like, yeah, man, it's really great musically, and you guys still have that sense of humor you keep intact.
Right. I
in
mean,
your
you
stuff,
can't.
so.
Who the fuck's gonna take? I don't know, man. And maybe in this day and age, people do take shit way too seriously. But I mean, come the fuck on. Like,
They're probably not listening to our show. you know,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
they're taking
right.
things seriously. They're the ones who just need to go away.
Yeah. So I mean, and that applies to the music too. Is it's like you got to take certain things with a grain of salt. And I mean, even if I'm feeling passionate about stuff, it's like it's no different than like I can imagine. I would like to find a poem from like the olden times that is equivalent to this, and like talking about slaughtering ye sheep and thing. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a way to vent. That's music for me.
That's
still
what metal
isn't-
is.
right. It's still an outlet for me. Like it's all that stuff is still an outlet for me. And I know that sounds childish and shit like that, but it's true. Like
Well, not as childish as your lyrics, but it's okay.
zing. How's it good? I set myself up for that one.
Lyrics by Mrs. Johnson's third grade class. Well done, little Vicky. Good job, Vic.
He wrote this one in crayon.
That's right.
Make
I
the crayon.
want to be a
Then ate the
farmer.
crayon
Yeah.
afterwards.
I want to grow up and be a rock and roll guy.
When he first started learning cursive, it's in crayon too.
Cursive. I don't remember any cursive. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, cursive stuff.
I think the original
Oh,
lyrics might have
man.
been like "Eat the Ritz," like crackers.
Yeah, man, this is
Little
a song
Vic's
that
writing
I've
about
had since I
crackers
was.
again.
That's it was a it was a fucking typo at the printer. They put "kill the rich" and I was supposed to be "kill the Ritz."
That's what we. Yeah, I was thinking of that.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Would have been a better title too.
But Billy, your solo was really great. I thought your
Hey,
your
thanks, man.
solo in this one was it was
Yeah.
noticeable. It didn't just work with the song, but it was also it drew attention to itself because I thought it was really unique. Like I said, I call it bendy because it had that lot of bending, string bending, and it just sounded it sounded different. I liked it.
Oh yeah, that one actually had almost. If I'm thinking correctly, it's 5 or 6 solos in that song, individually, and the one that's longest is pretty cut together. I remember that one took a long time in the studio. It was I was like throwing shit around and screaming, and the end take actually like I didn't even think it was gonna make it on the record. I forgot that I didn't delete it, so it's pretty good. It's on there. That bendy shit you're talking about, that's the one. It's like not
Really
even
good.
like
Real
lashed
cool.
onto a grid or on time, but it sounds right. So Fucking-
Exactly, it works.
Is that part of
Yeah.
your creative process? Just throwing shit and screaming? All
yeah,
part of the process. Yeah, everybody's
lot
got a
of-
process.
it's a lot of Bush Light and Taco Bell.
Wow. No wonder you were
A lot of
screaming.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
That'll make you angry right there.
Yeah,
Why can't I drink good beer?
You know,
Yeah.
right.
Why do I got to do all my solos on the shitter?
That's right.
I,
Puckering.
Oh, yes, that would be awesome. That's where the next album has to be recorded on the
That's when
shitter.
you're
That's
shitting
what it's
the
called.
rich.
No,
You
man,
know-
that's a black metal production thing. We're not getting into that.
I think
I'll
that's the
do
next
that
album
another
That's
day.
called.
brown
Just
metal.
on the shit.
Brown metal.
brown metal.
Yeah.
Shit
Shitcator.
core.
There's the new album direction. That's awesome.
Oh man.
I'll provide some extra sounds for between tracks for you. You know.
Brown Throne. Yeah, I like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh,
Can't wait for Cook the Rich though.
Yeah.
This whole rich opus
Yeah.
is going to be great.
It
Look,
is.
that was a kind of a nice unintentional segue to my notes for the next one, oxidative stress. Was when I first read it, I thought, oh, this is laxative stress, which I was kind of excited about. Like, yeah, I'm
You
like,
get as well
oh
as we
no,
do. Yeah, yeah.
oxidative. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like Googling it. I'm like, what the fuck, Rick? What's going on, man?
What is?
But I thought that one thing that stands out to me, and I still really like it, is that there's that kind of cascading riff that reminds me of something you would hear from Rigor Mortis's self-titled album. There's this little
Okay,
riff that kind of
yeah.
cascades down. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a Rigor Mortis riff that I would have heard Mike Scatia do. And I thought that was just kind of great to kind of have that, sense about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a feeling from it. Old school, like the Megadeth ones, like Into the Lungs of Hell, kind of feel from
Yeah.
it. When I first, I was like, yeah, man, it's cool. And especially the middle section and everything. It really was like, man, yeah, just old school Megadeth. That's what I thought with it, and it really sounds
Yeah.
great. So
Thank you.
Yeah, that opening riff is just awesome. I mean, that is stank face. I was stank facing at work listening to this. Honestly, I listened to this song like 4 times in a row because it was kicking ass. Like, yeah. Get
Yeah, he
the
was jerking
adrenaline
off in the
going.
cars on the line, like, oh yeah, take it, bitch. Oh
Yeah. Maybe.
I get your caulking right here.
I'm getting rid of some stress right now, boss.
And maybe an F-350 with some DNA on it.
Yeah, that's right. I know what the F stands for. Oh, that gas nozzle fits just right. Oh, I'm going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The vocals were killer. It's my favorite vocals of the whole album.
The album,
I love non-existent vocals.
Between that one and
Vindicator,
Flies on the Wall, I think had the best singing out of all.
Really great performances. Yeah, it's where Vic's at his best.
That's right.
I mean, I do. In all honesty, I do include. I like instrumentals because it is nice to get a break from vocals. I mean, I don't care if the guy's super good or not. Like, I like those kind of songs because it's like it kind of cleanses the palate, So
Some bands can't do them though. Some bands are not good at instrumentals.
Right? Yeah, they got to be interesting. I will.
But these
I
are
will-
really good.
Thank you.
These are really good instrumentals.
Thank you. If you like those, check out my other ones.
I will.
But yeah, man, I love instrumentals. I've always loved instrumentals. I don't know where that love comes from, to be honest. It's probably Megadeth. but can't say for sure that it is. I'm no.
Rigor
To be
Mortis
honest,
has them too, especially like on Freaks.
honestly,
you know,
it might be Maiden.
Iron
It might be Maiden.
Yeah.
Is it? It's
Lost
the
for words.
Ides
Genghis
of
Khan?
March.
Oh yeah,
Ides of
Ides of
March.
March.
Ides of March.
That
They
song
have
used to get
fun.
stuck in my head all the
Yeah.
time, man. And
Yeah.
and that I've always been a fan. Like, that's fucking cool. Nobody does it. You get thrash records now, and it's just like and it's done. It's just you just get plowed over, and there's no flow to it. And I do, flow's not just a process that includes instrumentals. It includes like gaps between songs and tempos and song structures and shit like that. But I mean, including instrumentals into an album does help give it kind of a soundscape. It's more of a journey than it is just a wham bam thank you ma'am. So yeah, that song was originally an intro for a song that didn't make the album. I ended up pulling it last second because there was something wrong with it, and I was like, no, this one's gonna have to wait. It's still a good song, but just it was too late in the game for us to go and fix some of the shit that needed fixed, and I didn't have the time. So I ended up using this intro as a standalone song, and I think it turned out cool. We did some kind of unorthodox shit with that particular track. We at the studio, when the album was getting mixed, we dubbed in those. They're not tom hits. It's actually a kick. It's a kick drum up on like two monitors, I think, and we're just taking mallets, Jesse and I, and we're kind of doing the tribal thing with it. And it was Tim's idea, I think, they got them shakers in there, so we were adding the shakers, and the weird kind of tribal instruments,
Pleasures of the flesh shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was fun to do that because we've never done anything like that on a record. And that was what was fun about going, at least getting a day in the studio. Because this, like I said, this record started in 2020 and wrapped in 2021. And so, after everybody was, felt comfortable enough to be in, close quarters with each other, we were able to get out there for some of that, for some of the mixing and stuff. So we did do some, dubs and shit like that out there, which included adding those things. Because I actually, in the demo for that track, I did record some kind of accent toms, just myself in my basement, but they didn't sound right. They were messed up, so I wanted to do them out there, and it turned out pretty cool. I thought it turned out pretty cool, anyways, and sounds like it did turn out pretty cool because old Dread was yanking his pulley to
His
it.
little Vic. He was yanking
I
his
was
little
trying
Vic.
to I was trying to think of some kind of truck part, and I couldn't.
Pulley. That's the best you can come up with. Pulley.
Yeah, I'm not a truck guy. I don't know.
Exhaust pipe. Nothing. Nothing good.
I guess I could have said
yanking my
exhaust
coal.
pipe. Damn, that was a good one. I feel bad about that.
Trailer hitch. Could have.
Nah, exhaust pipe's the
done
best
better.
one because you're exhausting
Right.
out of it. You're gonna shoot some exhaust out.
Yeah, Dread's used to the old pipe in the mouth kind of thing.
Oh, man.
Whoa! Good God!
What?
Wow.
You got pipes?
That
Show 'em your
escalated.
pipe.
What's that
Show
white
'em your
stuff in
pipe.
your hair? Huh? Yeah.
You got a pipe there, Dread? Yarr.
Oh, there it is.
See?
There we go.
Old pipe in the mouth.
That's
See,
pretty
that's
good.
just-
I think you guys should smoke those during shows. That would really make you look fancier.
Sophisticated.
Yeah,
Fancy.
dignified, yeah.
extra
Mhm.
fancy.
Yeah.
Mm.
It doesn't go with the hair though.
Yep.
I mean, maybe there's not tobacco in that pipe.
You've made it. Welcome to Vindicator 101. You've made it. You just got to be fancy. Billy's gonna go get it. No, now I can see it.
Yeah.
Today we'll discuss the finer points of
Mm-hmm.
Vindicator.
Yes,
Vindicator.
it'll be a short show. But so far we've gone through about half the record. What are your kind of reactions to it, Billy? Like some of the things that you remember recording, other than throwing shit around. Like when you heard these songs, and you started thinking about solos, like what is your creative process?
So initially, I don't know how long it took to write the material, but actually most of it got rewritten, like, I don't know, a month or two before I was supposed to do my solos. So everything that I had written had to basically be rewritten as well. So at that point, I just kind of like put it on the back burner because like I actually work really good under pressure. So I just figured I'd go out of town and go do some shows and record a music video with my other band. And I came back home and I did about the entire record in like 3 days in my basement. And half of what you hear on the record was recorded like on the spot.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your other
was
band was
like-
that Backstreet Boys, right? Was that Backstreet Boys? Is that the
Avenged
other band?
Sevenfold.
Okay.
Yeah. They pay the bills. Just kidding. It's Metallica.
Side project.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little side project.
Mhm.
Bunch of kids out of the Bay Area.
So you just kind of heard the song, ran through it. You just started like just playing, going with it.
Yeah. So like the best way for me to write is to just kind of run through it a few times in my space where I don't have to pay for studio time. I can take 2 hours on a track and I'll usually come up with something on my lunch break and get really mad, make myself late back to work and throw some shit, obviously. Then I'll lament that I didn't get a good take all day and then come home and bust it out as soon as I get off work. And then it's Taco Bell time every time. And I did that for like 3 days straight. And
It
then
works.
that's Communal Decay. Yeah, that's what happened.
Wow. Nice.
Sounds like your colon decay after 3
Yeah.
days of
That's
Taco
me. No,
Bell.
that's me. That's me.
Cologne Decay.
Cologne old
Cologne-
decay. Yeah,
Col-
Old Spice decay.
that's right. Nice. That's excellent.
Yeah. So
Alright.
So to follow up on that, because I've talked about this. I talked about this in another interview. I rewrote the entire record like after I got the drums back. And so I had this stuff demoed out and I sent it all to the guys and it was like, I had a few electronic drum like loops for some of the songs. Spiders had an actual drum track and the rest of it was just clicks. And I said, here's the parts, you guys learn your stuff, write your stuff. The tracks that I got when Jesse went in the studio, I didn't stay there because again, that was still a little too early for me in terms of the pandemic. And I was like, I'm not gonna stay and hang out for this. So I wasn't there to like offer, advice or ideas to Jesse and Tim about stuff. So I got what I got, and for me, I just wasn't happy with how my riffs were sitting with what Jesse gave me. So I said, fuck it. We're just going to rewrite these songs. And for the most part, the songs are still the same, but there's a lot changed about them. And it turned out for the better. The songs actually got more
Agreed.
aggressive, except for like Spiders stayed exactly the same. Spiders was fine, but the rest of the tracks got, I think, more aggressive and better thought out. So I'm glad that went down like it did. And it was real bizarre because, like I said, this
Same.
album, it's been weird for me, for probably all of us. I mean, not so much Ed, but for Jesse, myself, and probably you, Billy. Well, not you, because this is your first thing. For Jesse and I, this was a weird kind of scenario how how this came together. Now, Jesse's used to me writing the stuff, bringing the stuff to the studio, and he kind of again, it's kind of just off the cuff type tracks. That's how a lot of the lead players have done it. Just on the spot, spontaneity. That's kind of how Jesse does it. He'll get familiar with the structure and then kind of just come to the studio. He might run through stuff here and there a little bit, but he's not really hyper focused on things. And it allows for a little bit of creative flair. But this was a weird thing. So doing this was extra weird. And it took me, I mean, I wasn't just retracking my stuff. I was actively rewriting stuff. So it took me a little longer to get my tracks done. But I did feel bad once I was like, okay, guys. I mean, Jesse was done, but Billy and Ed had to like relearn stuff because that wasn't what I had sent them. I felt a little bad about that, but haha, challenge.
Well, now that you're talking about it and I've had a chance to digest the album, I'm thinking maybe a third rewrite wouldn't have been so bad.
Yeah, probably true.
Nice.
Can you just
Nice.
You could have put the kill the rich trilogy on there. Kill, eat, and shit, right?
I know it could have been like
A Dream
yeah,
Theater,
one,
big
two-
epic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
20-minute epic.
Yeah,
yeah,
22
man,
long.
that would have really had people hating us. Then there's this fucking 20-minute song in the middle of this record. The rest of them are 2 minutes long. What the fuck? I can
It's
only
about
imagine the
shitting people,
reviews.
and it's great.
I mean, yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been pretty great.
Just call it bowel sounds. you know, and there you go. You got
Ground
it.
sounds.
You
Yeah.
could have had
Sounds.
actual shitting sounds in there.
Yeah, I
After-
would have volunteered.
After the Taco Bell.
Yeah,
Could've
Billy could
recorded some of
volunteer on
that.
You know,
You know, put that in the song.
dancing with Mr.
Billy
Brown.
the Bowel's
Brown,
on.
Yeah,
Dancing
Yeah.
with Mr. Brown.
That's your new
New
nickname,
stage
man. You're
name.
the Bowel.
Billy the
that's
Bow.
stage name now.
That's right.
That's going on the liner notes.
Yeah.
I got guttural sounds, but none out of this office.
True, TRVE, true guttural sounds coming out the ass.
Colt.
Yep.
Well, we were going
man.
to do a Wizards of Gore album, me and Montag. We saw it coming out on both ends. So
Yeah, that was the first album. Yep.
Would
It
have
was
been
about-
glorious.
It was about Ebola. We have all the songs, all the music. That was a good song. Yeah. Oh, good album. Good album. We'll have to do a
best album we never did.
that's right.
Yeah.
Album doesn't exist.
Yeah, the world is breathing a sigh of relief on that one. Thank you for not sonically raping us with that. Oh,
It's like we're going to remind the world, you know, after they hear our show, that they really don't want to hear this new album by Vindicator as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the promo, guys.
got it, man.
that's our soundbite. Speaking of not wanting to hear, no, life support, the next track. This is my favorite song on the album. I think it's definitely the heaviest riff, and this is like old school thrash that we all love. And here, this is how I want to describe it. It reminds me of, you know, Old Testament more than Megadeth. Oh no, oh wait a minute. Oh, never mind. I got the funny one for another song. No, don't worry about it. I'm like, I saw my notes like, oh
The
wait, I'm
funny
setting
one.
myself up. Wait a minute.
You
Oh,
amateur.
I think I can cut all that out. Let's start back from square one. No, I thought this definitely reminded me of Old Testament more than Megadeth. It had a great double bass and guitar solos, and I said even the singing isn't awful on this one.
The
No,
only
this one,
track.
there's so many different time changes and tempo changes in this. I like that, but you know, this was the first track I heard from the record because I think this was what you
This
released
was a
this as your
single, yeah.
right? Your single.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I listened to him like, oh yeah, I definitely hear the Megadeth influence, but it's not like someone's just trying to rip off Megadeth. It reminds me of that, but it still has its own unique sound. And that's why I like most about it. Because if you are a fan of that old school style, that thrashy style, you're really gonna love this track. No, I think it's a solid track all over, even the singing.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
spite of
I absolutely have to agree with Montag there, other than the singing part. But yeah, I think the old school Testament style really shines in that song for me as well. And yeah, it's a rocker, man. It's probably maybe one of my favorite tracks as well. On the
Thanks.
album.
Yeah, classic thrash song. Great opening riff. I mean, I gotta say, like throughout this album, every song really, you do a great job of like grabbing your attention right off the bat with a great riff or a great opening section. You know, all these songs grab a hold of your attention and
you lose it
yeah,
really
do
quickly,
great.
but at least you grab us for a few seconds.
There it is. There it
The
is.
sound that wears out pretty damn quick.
You beat
Yeah.
me to the punchline, you son of a bitch.
You were feeding me setting that one up.
Yeah, this song this song actually was the first song that the band wrote as a band in years. Like we did a lot of writing together way back in the early days, and after There Will Be Blood, that sort of went away, and not for any other reason than it's just how it happened. You know, I started writing a lot of songs on my own time and bringing them to practice, whereas practice used to be write songs together, rehearse those songs together, write songs together, and just sort of happened that way. Nobody was bringing ideas down, so you know, I started bringing ideas down and kind of working on them in that sense. So this song was written in 2012 with that lineup, and we had already put out United We Fall, and I had this great idea that we were playing this fest, and that was our CD release show, was this fest. And I had this great idea to write a new song and also play that at the fest. It makes no fucking sense. All these songs are new songs to these people, and we have a new album, but that's like my mentality. That's the kind of dumb shit I do. So we wrote this song as a band. We played it live that one time. And you know, we slowed down greatly after 2012, well, after 2014, and it never came back to the set list. And it's always been floating around. And I had enough foresight to actually sit down and kind of demo the parts out. And I had the lyrics laying around somewhere. And I always liked the song. I always thought the song was cool. So getting it and getting it on this record was important to me. But then again, I had like the original version on this record originally, and then when I got the drums back, I was like, nope, we're gonna change all kinds of this shit. And so the original kind of the idea is still kind of there. The bones are still there, and just structurally and kind of some of the riff wise, but you know, it's been updated for modern times. But yeah, that was an important one to get on here, I thought, because we don't have too many songs that we wrote just lying around that aren't on there. There's maybe one song that hasn't been like properly retracked. I think one or two, maybe three, that are just in demo land, you know. And this was one of them, and I wanted to get this on here. This was a cool one, and the band, it was everybody's, because I didn't pick what song was a single. I asked the guys. I said, you know, which ones what song do you guys want? And you know, that was the kind of one that everybody came down to. So I made that video for it, and it was going to be our single.
Yeah, it's a cool lyric video too. Checking that out.
Thanks.
As well.
Made that shit on my iPhone, my little ass iPhone with my big stupid fingers.
And your big ego. Yeah.
And my tiny penis. I just figured I'd just go ahead and just do it. Somebody else is gonna do it. I'm gonna be the one.
Beating us to the punchline.
You own it.
Uh-huh.
Own it.
Yep, you own it. Sorry to hear
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the first one to the tiny penis.
It's like a race. It's like a foot race. First one to the tiny penis wins.
It's like the arms race, but very
Well,
baby
yeah,
arms.
really baby arms.
Nice. Well, moving on to the
On that note,
penis in us. No, the poison in us.
Son of a bitch.
I think, in all seriousness, I think lyrically this has some of the strongest rhymes that made me laugh, like joyously laugh, like, oh, that's fucking great. Like doesn't matter if the muzzle's on, I'm gonna bite. Like that's just fucking great. You know, and there's a blistering riff. I mean, this song just really is just blisters. I have two questions though, Vic. Like, why are you so angry, and why do you want to fight with everyone?
Man, you've known me for long enough to know that I'm a bitter, jaded, crotchety person, man. Yeah, this song definitely brings the angst isn't the appropriate word, I don't think, but the aggression is there. My wife always says, you know, Sarah's always like that this song has it. This song has attitude. And when I set out, when I decided to, you know, do this full length as an original, everything's original compositions here. It's not retracked anything in the sense of the original idea. I wanted to herald back to or hearken back to some of the older Vindicator material, and you know, in terms of stylistically, There Will Be Blood was real like punk thrash Bay Area vibe. So like, you know, Show No Mercy, Kill 'Em All, Bonded by Blood. There Will Be Blood was like that, you know. It was real. There was the fine punk lines, and there were some tinges of new wave of British heavy metal, etc. I wanted to put some tracks on here that were more kind of in that vein, and Poison in Us, that was the track that did it. You know, it's short, it's in your face, it's got all the attitude. Yes, no, it's not small and in your face.
You said short and in your face.
Well, short's not really that's not a good adjective for a penis, is it? Short? I got you. Okay, I guess so.
What I got out of that, Vic, what I got out of that song though was that it's very Motorhead like in the riff, and also nod to punk. There's a nod to punk feel.
Yeah,
that vibe is definitely throughout the whole song, and I really appreciated that about it. So.
Yeah, it was a ripper, and I love the solo in the middle of this song. Awesome guitar solo. I was a little disappointed when it ended. Like I wanted a longer solo there. It felt a little too abrupt, like maybe that's the
Come on, Billy,
the
get your shit
purpose.
together,
maybe
man.
that's the
So
Petrucci
next
fan in me. But
Vindicator
I
I'll
album,
make
wanted
you
a
listen
album
to
of
it.
solos. Billy's Vindicator, and then you're gonna have Vic's Vindicator.
But yeah, great solo in that song. So,
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
good
I
tune.
wanted it to be short and sweet so that you'd have to listen to the song again.
Like a peanut.
And there also
Like a
are
peanut.
6 solos in that song. So
Yeah, there are. I was thinking that's a song that has a lot of accent work in it.
Yeah.
And in between areas.
mhm.
So I don't know. I probably didn't make that solo section intentionally short. It was probably just how it wound
No,
up. You
and
know?
I intended to put more on it when I was recording, but like I don't know. I recorded somewhere around like 40 to 50 individual leads, including harmonies and everything for the record. And
Yeah.
by the time it came down to it, I was like, maybe less is more. I don't
Right,
need to
yeah.
solo every fucking time I get an opportunity. People are gonna get pissed.
I like hearing guitar solos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best part of the album for us. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just wanted more, like more
Yeah.
solo, less Vic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it crowds out the stuff we don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Gives us something substantial.
Gives our ears a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Vic's like, this solo's longer than my penis. We got to cut it.
Yes. I'm
It's
using
just-
that from now on. That's that
Yeah.
one's getting written down.
It's just like I got a bris. I only took tips. Nice. Oh, that's good. That's good. Any more feedback on the Poison in Us guys? No?
No.
All right. Which takes us to Social Schism. Hey, I got a funny thing to say about this song.
Hey,
Here it is.
Hey, this is the
Hey.
song that's going to be funny.
he's got a joke.
I know. I'll try.
Dazzle us.
Well, let's not go that far. Too much expectation. That's the story of my life. # Mark. I think this is another great heavy riff. If Overkill and Megadeth had a shame baby out of wedlock, that's what this would be.
Ooh.
The
Yeah,
kind
shame
they would
baby.
hide. The kind they would hide in the closet and feed scraps through to a tiny slit in the door. So
My
Door
God.
slits.
I know.
My
I mean,
God, man.
that's quite a thing.
That's horrific.
That is quite a thing.
That is quite a thing. I love the chorus break, like the actual chorus where they're like there's this moment where there are voices and just kind of singing or making a sounds between
Yeah.
the verses to kind of, I kind of like that. It reminds me a little bit of like Overkill has done those kinds of things, which I really love. And I like the slowed tempo changes, the halftime and those kinds of things really make the song heavier, that sludging kind of heavy punching, so it's not just brutal thrash. This song has a lot. This is a really, really strong song. I thought it was great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really enjoy the. I thought it was kind of like. I love the Testament kind of intro, and with old Metallica Kill 'Em All kind of riffing throughout the verses and the chorus. That's what I wrote down in my notes, and yeah, I really like Montag was talking about, just the slow down parts and stuff too, adds a different dimension. Definitely accents the song more. So
Yeah.
very good song.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this song. There's a lot of I like the heavy riffs in this. Guitar solo, another one that's guitar solos all over the place. Really cool. I mean, this is kind of borderline prog to me. I think this is my favorite track on the album. I really like it. Was there like an intentional homage to Maiden in there? Because there's like a galloping section.
Oh yeah, no, I
with some
figured
dual
somebody.
leads that
yeah,
was pretty
yeah.
awesome. Like that's some
So,
Maiden.
Yeah, that I find myself doing that on occasion. Yeah, it is. It's not intentional. It's just Maiden is an influence. So you get kind of that. Anytime you got that kind of gallop, you're going to get that kind of recognition. But even the structure, that particular structure in and of itself is kind of modeled after how Maiden would write a similar part, in the terms of like the notes that it encompasses, so to speak. That's got one of my favorite things in it. I remember this is one of the few times I had an idea in my head and was able to like run down and grab something and actually get it out of my head. Normally my ideas, I just sit down, I jam. That's how I get my ideas. I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. being like, I gotta fucking record this song. Like that doesn't happen to me. Like I set time aside to create. If nothing happens during that time, I'm probably not going to create outside of that time other than lyrics. When I'm walking around my house, I can come up with lyrics, but riffs, that has to happen with guitar in hand. So this was one of the few times where I had an idea, and it's when it goes down and it does that da na 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 da na 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 da na na. It kind of descends. It's kind of a Megadeth vibe. That particular thing reminds me of something off of like Euthanasia or something, that kind of thing. So you got that main part, and then you got that kind of those single notes down there. I was really excited to get that over to Billy to play over. And I think I texted you about it, Billy, to be honest. I think I was like, oh, I got this fucking cool part. But that beginning riff is Billy's riff. Billy sent over a bunch of music for me to record, and I was like, I don't know. In reality, I couldn't fucking figure this stuff out in time. I got a bunch of demos from him like towards the end of the record, and I was like, shit, this is some really good stuff that's going to require me to sit down and actually like work with him to figure some of this stuff out and kind of, steal parts from. That's what I've already told him I'm stealing all kinds of parts that he sent me because and that was one of the riffs. I was like, this riff is too fucking cool to not be on this record. So I wanted to incorporate it on this record. So I knew that was it had a place. And I mean, there was more to that. That came from a song. He sent me a full demo, and I was like, I'm taking this riff. I really fucking love this riff. And so we threw that on there in Social Schism. I can definitely, I get the prog vibe. The chorus has a weird feel to it, and that's probably where you're getting that. That wasn't intentional. I don't know how that came out like that, to be honest. I have no idea what I was thinking. I think I just thought it sounded cool. It felt cool when I was playing it.
Yeah.
It felt different. I was like, this is a weird part, and it sounds kind of cool. And it's not, your stereotypical what you would hear. So I definitely, that is a weird song. I will say it's a real weird song. It's got some real weird parts in it and stuff. And
It works, brother.
That's why I like it.
a lot of people seem to favor that track.
I think coming off of
them
like
all.
Life Support and Poison Us, that are more classic thrash kind of stuff.
Right.
This one kind of, it just felt a little more prog to me. Great.
And that's
great,
a good, and that's
song,
a good break. It's a good breakup too. Like,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, man. There's a lot of, even some of my favorite records are, when you break it down, pretty mundane. It's not the same song every song, but every song's fast, shouty lyrics, cool riffs, and then it's over, and I don't know, man, there used to be more to records than that. I mean, even if you put on like old Metallica and stuff, man, Kill 'Em All and especially like Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning's got like what's that song called? Escape?
Yeah.
Like that's a fucking thrash song, and it's all like melodic, and dude, that's one of my favorite songs on that record. I think they hated it. I think Metallica hated it.
Yeah,
But I fucking love that song, man. Like it's got a cool like vibe to it, man. It's got a good attitude to it. It's got some unique parts. It's got cool melody, and I'm like, that's what I like, because there's awesome thrash songs on it, and then you've got this song, and that's, I don't know, that's something I like to keep in my back pocket, like kind of keeping stuff like that in there, throwing in different nods to different influences and such. Not just trying to be the same thing, not trying to be a clone. So this one, Social Schism is very, very unique, especially on this particular record.
Yeah, and you talked about flow. I think this album has a nice flow because, you don't get bored, at any point.
Yeah.
It's not samey. You got some things that break up the sameness, at times.
Right.
That's what you're talking about. Certain bands that just halfway through the album, you're like, okay, I'm getting bored with it because it sounds all the same. But yeah, this album's got a nice flow.
I mean, you're glad when it's over, but yeah, I totally get. I'm just saying. Right. Well, Billy, we don't know much about you as far as your musical influences and tastes. So, what kind of bands do you follow? What are you into?
So I'm basically like I kind of worship like old school thrash. Mainly like I follow the Canadian front mostly, like Annihilator, Razor, Sacrifice. I'm really into that stuff. Is like a lot of old school Bay Area thrash, old school death thrash. I'm pretty well rounded in a lot of the old different genres, but I would say biggest influence for this record would have been Annihilator and Exodus. All the riffs I wrote were pretty hardcore riffs, big ripoffs of that shit. And that's probably why he had to like pick and choose riffs that he was going to use, because if he wouldn't have, you know, we probably would have gotten a lawsuit. Yeah, Gary Holt would have been breaking down the fucking door.
But it'd been cool doing it though. He would have been cool doing it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You got to get people to listen to it first before there's a lawsuit. So, you know, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries there.
Wow. Yeah.
Woo! Chop Top's bringing him in tonight.
He is
Yeah.
on fire.
Coming in
I've
hot.
been ready.
Yeah, those muscle relaxers are doing him good. He's opening his hate hole. His
I don't
spewing.
have to use the pain anymore. I'm an
Loosen
angry
up
old
the hate
man.
hole.
That's right. There's a new album. There's a new song.
Lubing the hate hole.
Lubing the
Yeah.
hate hole.
Sorry, Billy. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to put a little knock in there. So.
No, you're good.
Oh, lubing the hate hole. There you go.
Okay.
That's,
yeah.
that's excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Bonus track.
Absolutely.
All right, cool, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Flies on the Wall. This is like a very short interlude song, you know, melodic. I know Vic's tone, you were saying you were really enjoying these two musical
Yeah,
numbers.
cool
What-
little atmospheric piece, you know. It was cool. It was a nice little break, something different. Yeah, I like both of them a lot. I like them where they're at on the albums, and they're just a cool little break. I do
Yeah.
have a question on this one though. What's the sound effect in there? It's like that clicky kind of noise.
yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah. I've
Flies
worked with-
licking ass.
Yep.
Is that what it is?
Talk about your hate hole.
All right.
So
That wasn't one of my guesses.
didn't see
truth.
that one.
Licking ass.
Yeah, so I've worked with Tim like on every Volcana release, and I give Tim creative freedom when he's like mixing and shit. So he will oftentimes add in texture pieces, you know, and kind of that's one of his favorite things. If you listen to like Goddess of Flame, you'll hear a lot of like what I call warble like sounds and kind of weird uneasy sounds that aren't like birds or, you know, like real things you can identify. I don't know how he does it, but he asked, you know, he said, do you mind if I add, you know, a little bit of texture to this? I knew what he was going to do. You know, I knew it was going to be something along those lines. I said, no, you know, do what you want to do. You know, you're producing the record. You do what you think those need to be there. Put them there. I don't care. And yeah, so that's what it ends up. I think he likened them to spiders because that piece was written, spiders. I wanted something going into spiders, and to be honest, I needed a little more time on the record to get it up past the full length point. So we needed a song, and I thought it would be super cool to have kind of a creepy piece going into spiders. You know, at face value, people think spiders is about spiders. So naturally, having like a creepy piece going into that would be fitting. And I sat downstairs and I kind of hastily threw together this little song and you know, dialed the volume back on my guitar and cleaned it up so it's a little dirty, but not barely dirty, and more to how hard you're playing versus straight up distortion or gain. And I wrote this piece, and originally I was like, all right, here's this kind of hastily thrown together piece. I sent it to Billy. I said, retrack everything, do whatever you want with it. And I think ultimately Tim left the original tracks in there. And so Billy accented a lot of that stuff on acoustic and then added his parts, which I'm sure someone's going to liken that to Testament. There's a very Testament vibe in that particular song. And it worked out swimmingly or you know, something along those lines. It worked out real well. It served its purpose, and it's cool. I like writing parts like that too. Some people don't want to see that kind of growth in an artist. They know you just fucking jazz fast. That'd be fast. So I like adding pieces like that to kind of catch you off guard and break up monotony. And again, it's serving a purpose as a song. It's to get you kind of in a mood for the next track, you know. So that turned out really well. I didn't have any expectations for it, and I really do enjoy it because I love my instrumentals.
Well, it's just a minute or so too long. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no, I think no. You know what I think about that instrumental, Vic, is I really I really wished I wanted to hear more. Like I just really like the creepy
Yeah.
vibe, I like the acoustic, melody in there, and I kind of wanted more out of it. But hey, it works for introducing spiders, and it's still really cool. So
Yeah.
And I felt the same way about spiders. I would like more. Not that I was a minute too long. I kind of wanted more, but from both of these, I think there was enough to explore in Flies on the Wall. Like, I kind of want to see where this could develop it.
hmm
But I understand the point of it. To lead up to this, but I think there had possibility. My mind's like, okay, where can this go?
Oh yeah.
That's why I
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like.
There's
That's what I liked
always
about it.
yeah. There's always room for expanding and stuff like that. And with spiders, uh, since it's an easy segue into that, with spiders was already written. I wrote spiders for a band that I named Children of the Horn, and it's it was a play on Children of the Corn. And yeah, there already is a Children of the Horn, and they're way cooler because they're like a brass band. Makes sense. But I wrote this. I don't know. I was in between projects at the time. I was rehearsing for, I think, Vanek or Vandalus gigs, and so my guitar was in like E flat, and I was like, I'm just gonna write some fucking songs. And I experimented a little bit. Like I plugged my guitar into a Sans amp bass, like the bass driver, so it's like not a guitar pedal, and turned out sounding real dirty and fucking cool. And I had a lot of fun tracking it. And I wrote some like synth songs, so like there's some like old Halloween-esque. It's not super like I'm no John Carpenter, but I still wrote some like Halloween synth stuff. Got my kids involved in it, like had them like saying stuff in the microphone and then like slowing it down and making it real creepy and shit like that. So it was a fun project. The 3 songs that I wrote for that project, though, that are actually like songs with guitars, bass, and drums, I really liked all of them. I thought they were all kind of cool, and they had potential. And Spiders was one that even Vanek considered doing, and I was like, man, it is a cool song. And I was like, fuck it, that song we can do that song. It'll fit fine on this record. And so that's kind of why I didn't kind of expand on that particular track. Again, Flies was just an atmospheric piece to lead into that. That's why that wasn't expanded upon. But Spiders is so short because the original song is literally that short. There's not much change from the original track to the Vindicator version of it. So, except for way better solos and heavier guitars.
Nice.
I
And
thought
the guitars sounded were kind of Marty Friedman reminiscent to me. I don't know if there was any influence there, but that was the vibe I got. Yeah.
He's actually my favorite guitar player, so that's pretty astute.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely biggest influence. Other than Jeff Waters from Annihilator, but like
Cool.
Marty Friedman. Yeah, I remember that's probably the only song that had pre-pro done back in like April. So like we started, tracking songs, and I actually wrote all those solos back then. So by the time we tracked them, I had like, I had laser beam Terminator fucking focus on that one. So that was probably the most intense one on the record, I'd say, because I got to beef it up even more afterwards. But there is like, I think the third solo into the song is like a direct Marty Friedman homage.
Cool. Okay.
Like absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely picked up on that then.
Oh. Yeah, I like the punk inspired. It's almost punk inspired too, the riffing on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really cool, man.
Yeah, it's like a short blister of a song, to finish the record. And I like catching little pieces of my soul for supper time is a lyric that makes me kind of like laugh, not in a mocking way, but just like, that's having that word supper time, that's just awesome.
It goes back to that humor that we talked earlier about, that he has
a little tongue in cheek
humor in the band. Yeah,
a little bit of tongue in cheek in the working in the lines, but it's not done to the detriment of the song.
Right.
It still fits within the milieu of the whole song. It doesn't take away from that at all. It's over. It's like it finishes. I'm like, and this whole album we've talked about. It's a short finish album. It's like plays quickly, plays really quickly, like Sleeping with Evil. Although there's a few minutes longer, but from start to end, it's an album that you can listen to. You can feel like it's complete.
Yeah.
Anyway, that a lot of albums sometimes don't get that feel. Like you get an obligatory certain number of songs, or you can
Right.
tell when we're just shoving some crap in there because we got to make it 40 minutes or whatever. But I mean, yeah, that's one thing I really like it. You can play from beginning to end. It doesn't get boring, and it's over quickly. It's like, wow, okay.
That's the best thing about it. It's over quickly. So let's
yeah.
get to our ratings about the fucking. Let's get to the ratings.
Well, you know
about
what?
the-
Yeah.
It's like the Taco Bell at 3 a.m. coming out of me. That's what it feels like.
Drop Top
Boom.
gives it 0 skulls. So,
All funnies aside, man, I think that albums that are shorter, I don't know, they're, to me, I think that's cool because it's like you can listen to that album and then you still have time to listen to another album. You know, it's a quick passing of time, and it doesn't like, you know, oh, is this record over yet? No, I'm not dissing anybody that makes, you know, 2-hour records or something, Dream Theater, but you know, no, I mean, I'm just saying that, like,
right.
I understand the purposes of those records. I don't know about, man, that's one of the things that like bothers me most about modern Metallica is that, like, dude, why is this song 8 minutes long? Like, you guys aren't writing And Justice for All anymore. These songs are really basic, and you're making them 8 minutes. They should be half that length, because
Agreed.
And Justice songs being like 8 and 10 minutes long, that worked because the writing was there. In terms of like Hardwired to Self-Destruct, dude, cut these songs in half. These riffs are super basic. They're not real great. It sounds like you're trying too hard, and you're getting these weird like riffs, like tiny bits and pieces that they didn't use on And Justice, and they're trying to recapture something, and it's super obvious. That's my point. So it's like shorter albums. Like, I know that some people it really bothers, like they don't feel like they got their money's worth or something. But it's like, yeah, man, but again, like, you can throw that record on and you can throw another record on within an hour, and you know, you get to listen to 2 records versus 1, and that, I would much rather do that, to be honest, you know. And again, I didn't make this album, it wasn't intentionally I mean, it was the length that it was because we threw it together in a weird amount of time with it was just a whole process was really jumbled, and you know, it wound up being this length kind of just out of happenstance. So you know, obviously in the future, I don't remember how long United We Fall is. I think it's, how long is that, Billy? Is it like 40, 45 minutes?
It's like 12 tracks, so it's got to be close to 50.
Yeah, it's in there. You know, that's probably our longest record. I think that Antique Witcheries probably clocks in around 40, 45, but There Will Be Blood was real short. I think it was like a 35-minute record or something, you know. And again, man, like, another thing, like, I don't know, we're also not trying to be a grind band where you got like 50 songs and it's only a half hour long,
Right.
you know. So I mean, like, I don't know, I think that
You're not the
glad that you-
Ramones.
right, you know, so I
Right.
mean, like, it definitely
Nothing against the
serves
Ramones. They're fucking brilliant.
right,
But you
but
get-
it serves its purpose. And I mean, like, yeah, we could have probably tried for longer, but it's like, I don't know, man, this is our first record in our first full length in 9 years, and our first release in 7,
Yeah.
I think.
7. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like,
2014.
yeah, so we're just, you know, hey guys, we're still a thing, we're back, and this is what we did, you know. So, you know, you're gonna have like legit critics being like, you know, pouting about that and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, that's a dumb thing to be. I think it's a dumb thing to be
Now
mad
that you're
about,
back,
but-
everybody wants you to go the hell away again for another 7
yeah,
years.
right, right.
Yeah, there are going to be 2 things synonymous with 2021: Vindicator and COVID, and like,
Oh.
both, neither of them will go away, right? Is that what we're going to say?
It's like a
Yeah.
case of herpes, you know. It's a thing
Yeah.
you carry with you for life. Yeah.
That's from
You're
licking the
right.
hate hole. You know, that's what
The fucking
happened.
hate hole, man.
You're gonna be an anti-vixer.
Oh yes, that
Good one.
is.
Oh,
There we go,
man.
and that's
God.
the title of the show. That's fantastic. That's good. Well,
Great album.
Dreadbull finally said something funny, so that's
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Only took
me an hour and
37
20
shows
minutes.
to get that shit together.
Big Tone finally got his hair on, right?
Oof.
Maybe
gotta be
back
the
in
wig.
shades. Yeah, the
The
wig.
wig talking.
That's good.
It's the wig talking. Yeah.
Sweating my ass off under this thing. God.
Just put it on your back for the next week. Just show around. There we go. The hate. Oh man. Well, I like this record. I like your music, Vic. Between Vindicator and Volcana, I personally like Volcana better because just it's more the stuff I'd like to listen to better.
Right.
But I mean, I like old school thrash, and so this would stack up with anything else that I've listened to that was produced commercially. So when I'm in a mood for thrash, I will certainly listen to you guys. And it's nice to hear music that is still sounds reminiscent of like old school stuff, but it's still fresh. 35, 40 years after, into the thrash movement, we still have music that sounds like it came out of like an old cassette that I bought, in the record store in
Right.
the mall, for $6.99. And I'm like, oh, look at this cover.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
listen
that
to
was
this.
the other thing I was going to mention. The cover art is awesome on this album.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring that up, but who
Yeah,
did that? It is fantastic.
Joe Gettler, who has been a fan and in the scene, almost as long as I have. He was a youngster too, back when the Antique Witcheries came out. Like Billy was like a kid when he bought his first Vindicator record, and it's funny sounding, but it's the fucking truth. I love it. Joe bought the Antique Witcheries. He was always a big fan, and he started doing art, probably excuse me, I don't know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, somewhere in there. And I always liked his art, so I kept an eye on him, and when I needed art for Volcana, he was the first guy I hit up, and I was like, hey man, I love your art. And I just told him the title of the album, and he cooked up that album cover on his own. Like I didn't have to guide him. I just gave him I was like, hey man, I really like your I like this aspect, and this is the name of the album, and he painted that. And he also did Volcana's 7-inch, the Line Among Jackals. So I've got a working relationship with this guy. I love his art. I've actually got art for a second Volcana full length, but just set aside right now. I thought it was coming along sooner than it actually did, but I still have the art for it. So I knew getting into this, some people were like unhappy with United We Falls art, and we used I think his name's Julik Heller, and I think I've talked about this on the show before, that he was like a 70s 80s sci-fi fantasy book cover. Like I think he did some of like Michael Moorcock's like books and shit like that. Like this guy's pretty well known. And so he sent us stuff as to what we could pick through that was licensable, and the Red Knight was one that kind of spoke to me, and I think it works perfectly for the album. But some people are like, yeah, it's art. Yeah, well, it doesn't have a zombie on it puking and drinking beer or some shit, and it's like, oh, fuck off. So, but art's a very important thing to me for a record. It's got to draw you in. It's got to have an impact immediately, or you're not even going to want to check it out. So,
as our last week's show discusses,
right? Yeah,
Oh,
and
very
so
important.
yeah, so I knew that I wanted Joe on this one, so I got a hold of him pretty early, and I said, hey man, I've got this idea, and I think all I said to him was like, I want these like 4 banners or four cards, playing cards, and they're all kings, and they're all like tattered at the bottom, so they're almost like made of material. That's the only idea I have for this. Just do whatever you want. And that's what he gave me. And I was like, beautiful. You did. He does it every time. Like, I'm like, hey, Joe, do this. Like, if you look at A Line Among Jackals, I was like, hey, I only have like $50. Can you please just put a lion in the center and 3 jackals? And he drew me this like fucking full album, like full 7-inch piece that's just encompasses the whole thing. It's fucking awesome. He's a fantastic
except he used a
artist.
Lion King art at first, which I thought really took away.
Was me.
Hakuna
That was
Matata.
me. I used that, man. I was like,
it was Hakuna Matata.
I don't have any money for art. Wikipedia, here I come. So I went to the comments and snagged myself a picture of a lion. But yeah, the 7-inch art is fucking awesome. And so I, obviously, like I said, having a working relationship with him and Volcana, I knew that I wanted to grab him, and have him do it. And like he's a tattooist. He's an artist, but he also tattoos out in Boston, or Massachusetts. Maybe it's not Boston, but and he does fucking great work. And so I was really excited, man. It's got you know, it's the coloration's real cool and unique, and I think it works perfectly. It does everything we needed it to do. So yeah, I was really happy with the art.
I like the hand drawn aspect. It does look like flash art.
Mm.
You know, like a
Yeah, no,
tattoo flash
that's
art.
his style, man. That's
It
how
looks
he
good.
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how he does.
I mean-
and he just keeps getting better. So I'm happy to be part of that process.
My favorite, Sleeping with Evil. I just think she's so fucking hot. I want to.
That's that.
picture.
That's that Yannick Bouchard or whatever.
I want that and a poster. Can you get that? Can you make that happen?
I have that on a poster.
I want that as a poster. Christmas is coming up. I want that. No, I would totally buy one. If like that was made available, I would buy it. I just
Yeah, we used that art for a show. We like one of our few headlining shows in at the Foundry. It would have been probably 2014, 2015. And I still have some of those laying around. It's big. It's like 11 by 17, I think. No, it's bigger than that. No, maybe it is 11 by 17. I don't know. But yeah, it's good. I thought it was cool art. So we definitely we put it on a shirt, you know, put it on that flyer, and that dude does good art too, man. It's like I said, you know, we've always strived for cool art. And now before you say anything, and I've already brought up the Headless Marshall art, we were supposed to have the art that made it on the Antique Witcheries was supposed to be There Will Be Blood. And the lady that Halsey Swain, she just was like late to getting it scanned in, and she didn't meet her deadline. So we sat on that until the Antique Witchery. So that's why that art is like that. But still, like people bought There Will Be Blood because there was just this bare-chested guy covered in fake blood with an axe, you know, like that also worked. It works for the whole record, you know. Again, that was unintentional. We did that because we had to do that. We're coming down in the last minutes. I'm freaking out. Marshall goes, I got an idea. Grab that fake blood. And we went outside and dumped it all over him. And there you have it. There will be blood. So, but yeah, I mean, I like, you guys know, you know, the kind of art that I dig, because again, on the show, you know, I showcased some of my favorite art. And I think that I think we've kind of, the art for all of our releases has definitely spoke to what's on it. It's like Joe Gettler did the art for the first Vindicator art he actually did was we reissued our side of a split in 2020. We had done a split on a label, on an Irish label, and I wanted to get that music. I didn't have it for sale on our Bandcamp, so I had it kind of remastered, and we added some like some different mixes of certain songs and whatever, a live version of one of the songs. But I needed art for it, and I was like, Joe, I'm gonna do this EP, and here's the name of it. And he sends me this one picture, and I was happy with the first art that he sent. And he was like, "Nah, fuck that art, it sucks." And he sent me what we got, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like that's the guy. That's what he does, man. That guy don't fuck around. So yeah, no, I'm as you can tell, I'm pretty happy with how the art turned out. Very happy with the art.
If you ever put a horse on another album, make sure it's rearing back and peeing. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta do that. You know, that would be awesome. Peeing in someone's hate hole. You know, maybe like caricatures of all of us.
Did we talk about this on a previous show of the horse peeing?
Yeah, it was our last show.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The album covers, man.
Mostly we were talking about Murray's sausage.
Yeah, it was mostly
Yes.
just
A lot of
sausage
sausage.
jokes.
A lot of sausage.
Wow.
Sausage.
All right, yeah. All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Don't let me forget that, Billy. We're gonna the horse cock peeing.
Yep. Oh
Yeah.
man, so many possibilities.
Yeah, we got the hate
Raining
hole. We
blood
got
all over the
we got
place, yeah.
Dreadbull fucking a truck. We got, oh my god, there's just caricatures of all of us on the album.
Oof.
cover.
Hot.
You know, that would be
Doing
sweet.
obscene things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Just
Yeah,
hate
you
hole.
could do a split album with heavy metal horror, you know.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. You guys can finally get those songs out there that you've been
Yeah,
wanting to do.
yeah.
Oh,
Hey, I'll
There
send you
you
some
go.
lyrics.
Yeah.
I'll send you some lyrics. You can record Wizards of Gore, make it another album back to back. You know, with songs like Patty Pate, you're gonna be a winner there.
Yeah.
Dog Family, Ascariasis. Yeah.
Yeah, Invasion of the Body Man, Roundworms.
Gopher Man.
Yeah, Gopher Man's great.
For
Go-
me.
Not a guy getting his leg caught in his trap. He's got a gnaw through it. Get out. You know.
Choice. USDA choice right there.
Hey, you know,
Got
when
cool
you have a
spoiler
line like
break.
blood spurts like semen on the grimacing demon as it deep throats your leg, Come on, that's pretty fucking great.
Yeah,
I
That's
mean,
pretty
thank
good.
you, thank you. I wrote that one. Yeah, and then Chop's got Flesh Inferno, and the Saws family. Yeah, there's some classics on that one. I'll send you some lyrics. You guys have fun with it.
Indeed.
Oh man, hey Vic, thanks for letting us roast you.
Yeah,
We
no problem.
Really, really appreciate having you come on, and well, you're always on, but letting us get an album and listen to it, and bust your balls for a while. But it's a really good album.
Thank
Your
you.
bands are good. Vindicator's a great thrash man. Billy, your solos were really, really excellent.
Thanks, man.
And in spite of you knowing Vic, I think you're an all right guy. Just,
Thank you.
Seem to be weathering it
Appreciate
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Slowly
But-
corrupting me.
that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. So any last thoughts, gentlemen, before we wrap today's jocularity up?
I think we've said it all.
We certainly have.
Yeah, well, the new album sucks, but it's okay. Yeah. Hopefully the next one will be a hit. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding, brother. Really good. Really good. Enjoy it. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited
no
for the
worries,
next
man.
one.
Thank you.
I'm excited for the next one, and no, I will send you some lyrics, and you guys, I'll give you a basic riff, and if you want to record them, you're welcome to it. I'd love to hear it actually,
Fuck yeah.
recorded by a competent band and not just Chop Top and me.
Well, man,
Finally
Yeah.
admits the truth.
Yeah.
Well, Dreadbull wanted to join us when he had his mullet, and he was wanting to play keyboards. I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that. Can't have everyone on fucking
That would've been
keyboards.
sick, man.
you gotta have him
Nah,
come
you
back
should've
down
done
and Nick
that.
James again, right?
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
only song he could play was the theme from that cop movie with Eddie Murphy.
I just wanted to play. Just wanted to play tambourine and cowbell. That's all That's
right.
all I'm good at.
Yeah,
More
that's even
cowbell.
better.
Yeah.
Oh man, this has been fun. This has been Montag, Master of Illusion.
Chop top.
Vic's tone.
I'm still Wildcard.
That's Billy down there.
Billy
And you're
Zahn.
Billy.
Yep. I miss my cue every
I got to do
time.
the commercial. You can find Heavy Metal Horror on UnsaneRadio.com. Listen to full episodes or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. On YouTube page, if you're watching, you're on it, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you know someone who'd like our show, tell them about us. And you've been watching and listening to Heavy. Give us some horns, Billy. Metal.
Horror.
Bud Light.
Oh man.
This is Doug Helbring, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror, the best podcast that you've never heard before.